No.
Right now, the mic.
Yeah. It's all back up and working again. Huh? Just restart your phone. Hey guys, I'm back. Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Chat. Hi everybody. Things are working. Yeah, my fucking internet went out.
I didn't even know you left.
Yeah, we had a little hiccup. Like literally my ISP just went kaput for like, I don't know, 20 seconds. It was hard enough to knock out all internet service. And I was almost about to restart the computer before I just attempted to go live. And you guys hear me, yes? This is working? Just attempted to go live. Okay, yeah, you guys are hearing me.
Yes.
All right, so I did stop the video. Let's go back. Like right here. Look at that big honker, dude. Look at that shit. We could pick that.
But again, we'll get back to that in a bit. Alright, so back to the present now. Ethan and Mia may have gotten on a boat, but they didn't get very far. Soon they came across the wreckage of the tanker Annabelle and are immediately attacked by Evelyn's Molded. Their boat crashes, with the two of them washing up to the ship's wreckage. And Ethan is taken captive by the Molded. The next section of the game is spent playing as Mia, as she makes her way through the ship looking for Ethan and getting back her memories of what went down on the ship, including much of what we've already talked about. After recovering a tissue sample of Evelyn, Mia manages to find and rescue Ethan. Handing him the sample, she tells him to go back to the Baker residence and kill Evelyn once and for all, while she stays behind to try and fight off Evelyn's attempts to...
Say what?
Those radiation circles in Warzone. It's on the TV station.
Is it just an extra one?
Yeah, they added it.
Ooh, buddy, I wonder how many areas are going to get the red zone. You can technically go in it. It's just going to slowly hurt you like poison.
Yeah. I know. I just
bring her back under her control. After making his way through a network of tunnels in nearby salt mines, Ethan makes it back to the Baker house, where he comes face to face with Evelyn, injecting her with a necrotoxin composed using the tissue sample Mia gave her. In a final, desperate attempt to bring the situation back in her control, Evelyn undergoes a final transformation, turning massive and monstrous and absorbing all of the mold around her to essentially swallow the entire Baker house. As Ethan takes her on one last time, a squad of soldiers led by none other than Chris Redfield himself intervenes. They drop a high-powered weapon from their helicopter, which Ethan uses to kill Evelyn once and for all. Afterward, Ethan and Mia are rescued by the new arrivals and are seen flying away in the final scene of the game. But wait, there's more. Resident Evil 7 also has two major DLCs that reveal some pretty important information. For starters, who the hell is this military group being led by Chris Redfield? Well, it's Blue Umbrella. As its name suggests, several members of the former Umbrella Corporation reformed as a PMC, with their sole intent being to clean up the messes left behind by their former company, and fighting against bioterrorism however they can. Chris Redfield, still a BSAA agent, has teamed up with Blue Umbrella on a temporary basis because their goals are aligned. And, well, what are their goals? Putting a stop to the E001 bioweapon and investigating the connections. In the Not a Hero DLC, once Ethan and Mia have been safely flown away, Chris sets out in the salt mines close to the Baker estate to look for Lucas Baker, who he knows to be an agent of the Connections, and is their best and only lead on the criminal organization. What they don't know, however, is that Lucas has gone rogue. He's killed several of his fellow researchers and aims to steal all of the data on Evelyn in the mold and sell it to the highest bidder. Chris manages to put a stop to his machinations though, killing Lucas in the nick of time and managing to stop him from transferring that data to an unknown third party. There's also the End of Zoe DLC, which involves, as its name suggests, Zoe Baker, who was found in the swamps by her uncle Joe Baker, Jack's brother, who's been living in the swamps as a hermit for many years. Curiously enough, Jack Baker still isn't dead and has transformed into a monstrosity known as the Swamp Man. End of Zoe follows Joe's attempts to cure Zoe and protect her from the Swamp Man, with it all culminating in a battle between the two brothers, with Joe finally killing Jack once and for all. For real this time. Zoe and Joe are both found by Blue Umbrella soldiers and Chris Redfield, who's been informed about her situation by Ethan. And that's it. That's the full story of Resident Evil 7 and its DLCs. Resident Evil Village will see Ethan Winters taking center stage once again, while Mia and Chris will also be returning. Something weird is going on though, with Chris seemingly having shot and killed Mia and kidnapped Ethan and Mia's infant daughter, forcing Ethan to set off on another nightmarish adventure.
Did I just see a scene for John Wick? Like, insert number 4? Come on. Say what now?
I thought your internet went out again. You were very quiet.
Oh, we're still going through this Resident Evil rabbit hole here. This is still nutty. This is insane.
Several plot threads from RE7 that are yet unresolved, while Village itself is also bringing in entirely new mysteries of its own, so there should be quite a meaty story to look forward to. With the game launching on May 7th, thankfully we do not have to wait too long to experience all of it. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request before we conclude. We upload new videos every single day, and if you
The full story of Ethan before you played Resident Evil Village? Wait, didn't they introduce him in 5? Isn't that where, like, I forget. And I never realized how many references Resident Evil has to movies and other games. Dude, Resident Evil has a fuck ton of references to other movies and games. Fuck ton. Everything I need to know, or the story of Ethan? Because I mean, we were just talking about how the molded were literally the fucking kill everything creatures in Supernatural that were killed by fucking soap and water. I mean, come on. Just get a little soap, a little water, some antibacterial that kills fucking mold. You're good. You're good. How'd you do that? A little pine saw and some ammonia, water, and then this thing called Dawn. Put that all up in a bucket. Mix it all up. Swamp Man's a reference to Swamp Thing. More like his swamp ass finally taking over his body. That's what that was.
Swamp ass, swamp ass, swamp ass.
Yo, swamp ass, nasty ass, fucking zombified booty hole taking over your body. Alright, so Resident Evil 8 is going to be Resident Evil Village. It's not even going to have a number. So Resident Evil Village literally could just be a sticking point between 7 and 8. Something to keep in mind. So, I needs to eat my porridge before hospital. Wait, what? Joking, or you actually have to go to the hospital? Let's see. Everything you need to know, or the full story of Ethan. What are you doing, babe? Babe, what are you doing? I think she's getting her tattoo gun ready.
For what?
She just keeps tattooing on herself.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Full story of Ethan before playing Resident Evil Village. Now, they did mention. Let's see. I have to go to the hospital today for meds for your stomach. Ah, gotcha. Fucking eating better than me. You're over here eating porridge and shit.
Ethan, You were right. I did lie to you. I shouldn't have, but... All I can say is that if you get this, stay away.
When Resident Evil decided to reinvent itself once again in 2017 with RE7, it did so in some major ways, to the extent that even the protagonist that players played as was a completely new character with no previous connection to the series' winding lore and overarching story. Before we begin, please consider subscribing and enabling all notifications by clicking the bell icon. With that out of the way, let's get started. While series fans had become used to playing as extremely capable and established characters like Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine and others, in RE7 we stepped into the shoes of Ethan Winters, who's just a normal vanilla guy. He was certainly put through the ringer during the events of that game, and he's going to return.
Normal vanilla guy. Just normal dude. Gets his arm cut, gets his hand completely cut off, comes back like Evil Dead, like, I got a hand again, and it's stapled to me, and it works. Like, you're doing some little bit of Evil Dead shit here. So,
Turn in his capacity as the primary protagonist in Resident Evil Village. So before the next mainline RE
it's a
game
usual
launches,
Friday in Alabama.
here we're going to catch up on all of the events of the previous game, and take a look at the full story of Ethan so far.
You mean in Louisiana?
Ethan Winters' life before Resident Evil 7 is as ordinary as you'd expect. He was a systems engineer who lived in Los Angeles and got married to Mia in 2011, 6 years before the events of the game. As far as Ethan knew, Mia was a professional nanny. She was more than that, but we'll get to it in a bit. And one of her jobs proved to be fatal, to the best of Ethan's knowledge. In 2014, she disappeared and was declared dead, which is what Ethan believed, until 2017, when he received
You
an
have a Stream
email
Deck,
from Mia
don't you?
telling him to come to her and rescue.
Huh?
You have a Stream Deck, don't you?
I do. I've been completely plugging away off stream and in my spare time to redo my entire setup. So I'll have more interactive things. Stream Deck will allow me to change better.
Yeah.
You
I
have a
need to
Stream
get
Deck?
one. No, not yet. I plan on getting one soon.
Which one? 15 button or 30?
15 now. I'm not doing 30.
Then we should talk off stream because I have one.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I upgraded a while back and just literally haven't implemented anything. I've played around with the 15 and I gotta wipe it down just because of dust, but other than that, it works. It's like the thing's a goddamn dust magnet. Wipe it down every day. Why is it so dirty? I don't know. I
It's
woke up
black.
and it was this way.
Just
Yeah, it's not white.
Dust.
It's not white. It's oh my god, it's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I have a black keyboard, I have a giant black desk. Look at my black deck. No, seriously. That deck outside. Built it by hand. Huge. It's black. It's ready. Everybody's jealous of it. Huge deck. You know, good old Comedy Central jokes. 2 hours till I have to suffer for 2 hours. Oh, jeez.
Her from the Baker residence in Dulvey, Louisiana. The Baker residence had its own baggage that Ethan obviously isn't aware of, while he's travelling there to find his wife, who is believed to be dead for 3 years at this point. In
Can you put,
2014,
like,
around the same time that Mia supposedly
sound effects in there?
Say what?
Can you put sound effects on the Stream Deck?
You can put them into your OBS Studio stream now. OBS Studio, there's been a lot of people who have made new plugins.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch a YouTuber called Nutty. He reviews all these fucking plugins so you don't have to. And through his YouTube channel, I've been pulling things that I like, and I have a folder called OBS Project. I've downloaded these plugins. They've been ready to go. I think I installed them at some point, and now I'm just slowly integrating things. My computer's going to be running 2 separate programs just to be running OBS Studio with all the stream stuff at once. Which, to be fair, they're only going to be like 1 or 2. It's going to be like 2 to 5% of my CPU being used on these things, so it's not really a big deal. Can you send me a link later? It would be nice to have in case. What do you mean, Branham? What are you talking about? A link for what? Like the YouTuber Nutty? Or are you talking about OBS Studio? For the YouTube. For this YouTube channel?
Be more specific.
I know you're probably running a little behind. Which? For Nutty or the Resident Evil stuff? The plugins. Oh. Okay, I can just do this. Nutty. That's the guy's channel right here. Turn any keyboard into a stream deck. And then there's loop deck. Loop that deck. Loop it. Make your own sub printer. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, nice. I see your setup. It's definitely standing. That's for sure. Here you go, kill shot. The American Dad dude. I see that one of the last things that me and you were talking about. How Amazon actually delivers your package. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just hilarious.
Died, the Baker family went missing as well. And since then, the Baker residence has acquired a notorious reputation as a haunted house of sorts. When Ethan arrives at the house and traverses through the surrounding swamps to find a way inside, he quickly realizes that it lives up to its potential, coming across more than a few grotesque sights. The house itself is decrepit and decaying, but once Ethan makes his way inside, he quickly starts looking for Mia. It doesn't take long for him to find her in a small cell in the house's basement. Mia is surprised to see him, and clearly she's not doing very well, either physically or mentally. When Ethan brings up the email she sent him, she hurriedly informs him that she sent him no such email. Ethan quickly realizes that something is very wrong. Mia's ramblings and panicked bursts make it clear that something's not right in her head, but Mia tells him that they need to escape before she can explain what's going on. The two are quickly separated once again. Ethan lets Mia out of her sight for barely a few seconds, and in that short window she's grabbed and dragged away by an unknown figure, who, as players now know, is Jack Baker, but we'll get to that in a bit. Ethan begins searching the house for her once again, and he does find her, but not in the state that he had expected. When he sees Mia again, she's completely demonic and rabid. She begins attacking him, and though Ethan attempts to stop her multiple times, she continues to grow increasingly violent and erratic. From stabbing Ethan through his hands to bashing her own head against a wall, Ethan's prolonged encounter with Mia is a horrifying one. Ultimately, he strikes her in the throat with an axe, seemingly killing her. Stunned and dazed as he is, Ethan has no time to process any of it. He hears a phone ringing somewhere in the house, and when he answers it, he speaks with a mysterious woman calling herself Zoe. Ignoring Ethan's questions, Zoe tells him that he can escape through the attic, and Ethan, who doesn't need to be told twice to get out of this madhouse, immediately sets off to look for a way out. Before he can leave though, he's attacked by Mia once again, who, as it turns out, did not die, even from an axe to the throat. She comes at Ethan with a chainsaw, sawing his left hand off in the process. And though Ethan manages to subdue her in a duel once again, he's quickly attacked by a third party.
Domestic
Jack Baker
violence.
arrives on the scene, welcomes Ethan to the family in a now iconic scene, and knocks him out. When Ethan comes to, he finds himself sitting at a dinner table, surrounded by the entire Baker family. The patriarch, Jack, his wife, Marguerite, their son, Lucas, and a feeble old woman in a wheelchair. All of them are enjoying a disgusting meal, and Ethan's hand has been reattached to his arm, and also has a device on his wrist that monitors his vitals. In the horrifying scene that follows, the Bakers try to feed Ethan, but are interrupted when a cop, Officer Anderson, arrives outside of the house. The family disperses, heading off to deal with the cop, while Ethan manages to find a way out of the room and escape to another part of the house. After another conversation with Zoe on the phone, Ethan heads to the house's main hall, where he encounters Officer Anderson on the other side of the house's locked entrance. Ethan begs the officer for help, but Anderson isn't entirely sure that Ethan himself is not a suspect for whatever the hell it is that's going on in the Baker residence, and tells him to meet him in the house's garage. Ethan makes his way there and the two begin conversing, but the conversation is quickly cut short. Jack arrives on the scene and slices the cop's head with a shovel and engages Ethan in a grueling duel. Even after multiple blows that should have killed him, Jack refuses to stay down, and the fight ultimately ends when Jack manically shoves Ethan's gun into his own mouth and pulls the trigger, blowing his own head off. Ethan heads back to the house's main hall where he has another conversation with Zoe on the phone. She tells him that she is Jack's daughter, and promises to answer his questions once he's found a way out of the house. Ethan sets off to look for a set of keys scattered about the residence, while fighting off several black gooey monstrosities known as the Molded, which were created by the same infection that has overrun the entire Baker residence. On top of that, it turns out that Jack still isn't dead. More encounters follow, ultimately ending with Jack's entire upper body getting decimated. Don't worry though, he still isn't dead. More on that in a bit. Finally free from the house, Ethan heads to a trailer parked close by, where he once again talks with Zoe over the phone. She tells him that she, her entire family and Mia were infected years ago, and that they need a serum to cure themselves. Ethan, who obviously has personal stakes in the matter and wants to cure his wife, agrees to look for the serum. Zoe informs him that he'll need certain components to create the serum, and that he'll find them in Marguerite Baker's old house on the estate, close to the main Baker residence. In the old house, Ethan squares off multiple times against Marguerite, who has the particularly disgusting ability to summon swarms of bugs, and has horrifying abilities herself, similar to her husband. During his time in the old house, Ethan sneaks about while looking for the components to make the serum, and squares off against Marguerite a couple of times. He defeats her for good at the end of their final encounter, with her body calcifying and disintegrating completely. After finding one of the two components needed to make the serum, Ethan heads back to the trailer to meet with Zoe. But of course, things wouldn't end that easily. Zoe is not there, and Ethan is instead greeted by a phone call. This time it's from Lucas, Jack and Marguerite's son, who tells him that he's captured Zoe and has the second component with him. Lucas challenges Ethan to head to the barn and participate in a deranged game of sorts if he wants to rescue Zoe and recover the component that he needs. Ethan, who has no choice but to do exactly as Lucas is telling him, agrees. He heads to the barn and makes his way through a deadly room filled with traps, but is ultimately able to outsmart Lucas. Lucas, realizing that he's lost, flees from the scene, but leaves behind the component that Ethan needs to make the serum. With the components in hand, Lucas heads to the boathouse, where he finds both Zoe and Mia. Zoe uses the components to make 2 serum samples, but just as the 3 of them are about to escape using a boat, they are attacked once again by Jack, who just refuses to die. Ethan takes on Jack's hideously mutated form once more in a furious fight, but this time intending to put him down for good. He injects him with one of the serum samples. Similar to Marguerite, Jack's body calcifies and disintegrates, finally dead once and for all. This, however, leaves Ethan with just one sample of the serum, as well as the tough decision to cure either Mia or Zoe and leave the other one behind. Resident Evil 7 does give players a choice here, but saving Mia is considered to be the canonical choice, which makes sense, since she is Ethan's wife and the whole reason he came to Dulvey in the first place. So, let's just stick with that going forward. Besides, saving Zoe doesn't change the story an awful lot from this point forth, and with some few minor variations, the larger story beats remain the same. So, he uses the serum on Mia, curing her of the virus that has been contaminating her for 3 years. Promising Zoe that he'll send help back for her, he gets on a boat with Mia and escapes. They don't get very far though. In the bayou, their boat chances upon the wreckage of a tanker called the Annabelle and are attacked by the Molded once again. The pair are thrown off the boat and find themselves in the wreckage. Ethan is captured by the Molded and dragged further into the depths of the destroyed ship, and players spend the next section playing as Mia. Some important things are revealed during this section. Mia, as it turns out, was never a nanny. She was an operative of the crime syndicate known as the Connections, who were involved in experiments with genetically modified humans to create bioweapons. Their newest bioweapon was a girl named Eveline, whose terrifying abilities are the root cause of the Molded, and all of the nightmarish things that have been going on at the Baker residence. 3 years ago, when Mia was presumed dead, she was on a job that involved smuggling Eveline, but Eveline got lost, wrecked the ship, and the ship crashed in the bayous of Dulvey. Here, Eveline and Mia were both found by the Bakers, who took them in to care for them. Eveline's virus, however, infected the Bakers, who were turned into psychotic killing machines. Mia eventually manages to find and rescue Ethan from the mold. She hands him a tissue sample of Eveline that she managed to acquire while she was looking for him in the ship's wreckage, locks herself in, and tells him to head back to the Baker residence to kill Eveline and finally bring this whole ordeal to an end. As Ethan is making his way through a network of salt mines, he spots a squad of Blue Umbrella soldiers arriving at the Baker residence. Blue Umbrella, in case you're wondering, is a company that's dedicated to cleaning up the massive messes that were created by the original Umbrella Corporation. Ethan uses the tissue sample given to him by Mia and makes a nectroxin required to kill Eveline, and eventually arrives at the Baker residence once again. Here it's revealed that the feeble old grandma in the wheelchair was Eveline all along, owing to some weird accelerated aging shenanigans. Ethan injects her with a nectroxin, but that, as you would expect, does not kill her. Summoning all the Molded inside of the Baker residence into her, Eveline engulfs the entire house and grows to monstrous proportions, at which point Ethan takes on her in a dramatic climactic fight. As the fight progresses, a Blue Umbrella chopper arrives on the scene and throws a weapon with anti-regen rounds to Ethan. Using the weapon, he shoots the monstrous Eveline multiple times, killing her and destroying her completely. Ethan and Mia are rescued by Blue Umbrella, their force is led by none other than Chris Redfield himself, and flown away from the scene on one of their choppers. By the time Resident Evil Village begins, 3 years have passed. Ethan and Mia have been living a peaceful life in Eastern Europe and have even given birth to a daughter. Based on what we've seen in RE Village's trailers so far though, it's clear that Ethan's life is going to be turned upside down once again. Chris Redfield is going to arrive soon, and from the looks of it, it seems like he's going to kill Mia, abduct his daughter, and flee to a castle occupied by Lady Dimitrescu, which is where Ethan will be heading to rescue her. What exactly is Chris's role in all this? Why is Ethan's daughter so important that he feels the need to rescue her? Is Mia actually dead? There's no shortage of questions that are swirling around right now, but thankfully, we don't have to wait too long to learn the answers to these questions. And with that, we've reached the end of this video.
Okay. Now here we go with this one. Spoiler alerts if you guys are playing Resident Evil Village. I'm assuming.
Did you know they're making a new Resident Evil? We haven't seen this beloved, storied horror franchise since, well, anyway, they're making a new one.
You know what? Go get a drink, a snack, use the restroom. I want a drink. I want a small snack. I want to use the restroom. Oh my god. We're 30 minutes back into however long we've been at this. This is good stuff. This is good stuff, chat. I like it. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put up my be right back screen. And it's gonna be loud. So bear with me. Got it.
Nice. Come get your stuff.
Yep. Oh, I killed one.
Oops. Oh, button.
Down.
Silos.
Survive, Rob. Dead. And he has a thing.
Got him. Got his buddy.
Can you bring me up?
Oh, the other guy's down here. You got him.
Nice.
Off your ass. Get a move.
X-ray spotted.
Down.
Armor pop.
There's people right here.
Down. I
Down.
put 2 down.
Do something in Counter-Strike though, like you're basically looking at him and you're thinking bullet, and a bullet flies out the middle of your head at him.
Yeah, that is.
Wait. I've got the.
Oh, you got a duo over there. Coming.
Dead.
Nice.
Down.
RPG over here. RPG over here.
Kill him.
No way.
The fuck? Somebody else killed up here. Oh, they came back for their shit.
Oh shit, they both.
Nope, that guy
You
was
get
by
him?
himself. He died.
Oh, you cracked him. Game key's going in. Oh, game key's nasty.
Did he just kill all of them?
He's He's going in.
His shields are broke. I see one.
The duo's dead.
Nice. He's still trying to raise him. What is he doing? Holy shit, that was very
Downed.
Oh, dead. Oh, fucking dead. He was.
I'm pulling you down in the car.
I'll drive. Get it. I mean.
Kill that one.
That guy's dead. Yeah, I fucking killed the guy on the ATV.
Healer's down.
Man's dead.
That's nice.
I'm hitting up people to fucking join us.
He's got plates?
Hey, he's got a satchel right here. Oh my god. That was the
That guy didn't fucking like, dude.
How the fuck unless they actually can physically prove well done.
No, hombre, andate vos entonces.
nice. Oh fucking yeah.
He's dropping someone off. Yeah, get ready. Armor satchel.
Oh, oh my god. Oh, I took 2 out of 3 down. Damn.
Broke arm on one.
Killed one.
50 remain in the AR.
One near me.
Oh, you good?
Zombie dead.
Behind the silo.
Throw us.
Over there. Where I was.
They'll fight
I
for
was
a chance
marking.
to redeploy.
Ah.
Down.
Told some poor dude's vein.
Out of charges.
Spike planted.
Oh, it was a death match.
Nice.
I got leaf. I killed him though. He's dead. Both down. Armor. Where are you at? Oh my god. That is awesome. Yeah. Down. Fucking killed him.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
All right, I'm back. I am back. I see your mic's muted. Kill shot. So no worries.
Yeah.
All right, everything you need to know about Resident Evil Village. It's only 8 minutes, and I don't think we're into any of the gameplay unless it's someone leaking behind the scenes and pre-embargo. But I doubt they'd do that. Let's check this out. So it's got to be the demo stuff.
The 8th mainline game in the series, in fact, simply titled Resident Evil Village. Thanks to Capcom's
Oh, I
recent
get
showcase,
it. I get it. VIII. It's 8 for Village.
we now have a pretty good idea of what the game is, from what it's about, to how it plays, to when it's coming out. Spoilers, it's really soon. This video is going to tell you everything you need to know about Resident Evil Village, and maybe you'll learn why everyone is super thirsty for that very tall vampire lady. If you find this video useful, we'd really appreciate a like and sub, but hey, the fact that you're here already means a lot. Now, let's talk Resident Evil.
So this is where that whole meme thing I kept seeing on YouTube, Twitter. Everybody like doing the whole black and white like picture and with the hat and the like 1950s dress. I get it.
Evil.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Village is a follow-up to 2017's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Kind of werewolf.
I was just gonna say, I think I saw a werewolf. We're falling into what is that fucking movie? The werewolf.
Underworld.
Underworld. That's it. Yeah. We're going into Underworld
Once
now.
again, set in the shoes of...
It's got zombies, it's got werewolves, and they said some vampire lady, so here we go.
Of Ethan Winters. Village takes place a few years after the events of the Baker Mansion, and Ethan and his wife Mia have settled down after all that madness. And getting busy, apparently, because they have a child now.
Ethan and Mia? I thought Mia was the daughter. Wasn't that right? Wasn't Mia the daughter?
Idea.
His daughter, specifically? What? No, you had it last. Did you toss it under the couch? I don't know where it is then. Because I saw you magically pull it from underneath the couch.
Daughter, in fact. Side note, Resident Evil 7 has two endings. Village takes place a few years after the events of the Baker Mansion, and Ethan and his wife Mia have settled down after all that madness.
Ethan and his wife, Mia, have settled down. I thought Mia died. So, like... This? Yeah.
She's back.
They found her? How? What happened?
Reinvented itself with RE7 in 2017. But now that the series is well and truly back on track, we're expecting the upcoming Resident Evil Village to have a lot more connections to the series' larger narrative. Even so, this village almost upon us, and your support really to be dead after she suddenly went missing in 2017, with plain old vanilla guy Ethan Winters taking the role of the primary protagonist. For 3 years, he believed his wife to be dead after she suddenly went missing on what she claimed was just another plain old babysitting job. That all changes though, when out of nowhere she contacts him again to let him know that she's still alive, asking him to come get her at a place called the Baker Residence in the bayous of Dolve, Louisiana. Now, obviously, Ethan drops everything and heads straight there. The Baker Residence, however, is no place for anyone to be, as soon as a dead crow in the microwave in the house itself. Shortly after making it into the house, Ethan manages to find Mia, and though she is, much to his...
Okay, so it is his wife. It's his wife. They get it on, have a baby, and then shit goes down.
His wife Mia have settled down after all that madness.
This is like years
and
after.
Busy apparently because they have a child now, a daughter in fact. Side note, Resident Evil 7 has two endings, one where Mia dies and one where she lives. The Mia lives ending has become the canonical ending that Village goes off of. The plot kicks off when Ethan's home is invaded, his daughter kidnapped, and Mia seemingly murdered. Ethan's quest to save his daughter leads him to the titular Village. But who took his daughter and why? Well, it's looking like series poster boy Chris Redfield is responsible.
God damn.
What?
Bam, 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 bam,
Chris
bam.
has long been the series' lawful good Boy Scout. Sure, he's had his low points, but he always rises to the occasion to do what's right and punch his way through large boulders and into our hearts, which makes the horrible actions he's committed against Ethan's family all the more shocking. Why Chris has gone off the deep end like this will no doubt be one of the game's biggest mysteries. The box art of the game shows the brooding face of Redfield mirrored with a werewolf. Does Chris turn into a werewolf? Because that would be incredible. It is entirely possible that this isn't even the real Chris Redfield. After all, he's looking a lot beefier than the last time we saw him, but also that Chris is slimmer than the one punching the boulder, but that Chris is different from the one in Code Veronica, which, to be perfectly frank, looks nothing like this guy. And you know what? Chris's true role as a villain or hero is still left up for debate, but we still have a very clear-cut villain in Lady Dimitrescu.
Well, Ethan Winters, you escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you?
She is the owner of a massive castle that looms over the village. The common people are terrified of the place and Dimitrescu, and as we've seen from the recently released Maiden demo, those who enter the castle don't leave.
Oh my god.
Also, we have her 3 terrifying daughters who possess the ability to turn into a swarm of bugs and want nothing more than to string Ethan up and eat him alive.
Man blood.
Dimitrescu also mentions a younger brother who might possibly be this Van Helsing-looking motherfucker. Dimitrescu and her family are seemingly the ones behind the kidnapping of Ethan's daughter, all part of a ceremony for one Mother Miranda.
Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the ceremony. I won't let you down.
So in the game, you'll be exploring both the Dimitrescu castle and the surrounding village. It's designed to be one seamless map you can explore. Its overall size is yet to be seen, but there's meant to be a greater emphasis on exploration than previous Resident Evils. Gameplay will be building off of the first-person nature of Resident Evil 7. This time around, guarding takes even greater importance to help Ethan counter foes, and you have the option to push them away if you're getting crowded. We've also seen a much greater variety of enemies, which is excellent news for those that found the molded in Resident Evil 7 a little one note. We've got these ghoulish looking boys wearing cloaked rags and rocking swords and battle axes in the castle dungeon. Meanwhile in the village, Ethan is attacked by a group of beefy, hairy, werewolf-like men, and one massive, bushy, bearded man with a giant hammer, who's given me big executioner vibes from Resident Evil 5. Honestly, the whole thing kind of feels like Resident Evil 4 infused with Bloodborne, 2 of my favorite games ever made, and I am here for it.
If it's just looking, window shop away.
Speaking of Resident Evil 4, Village has a merchant of its own, a lovely fellow known as the Duke. His shop lets you buy and sell weapons and ammo, as well as purchase gun upgrades, just like in Resident Evil 4. Also returning is the Tetris-style inventory management system. Creating first aid meds is now done from a new crafting menu. You can also craft ammo, just like in Resident Evil 3.
You have a
the
good
game
one,
very much
Killshot.
feels
Thanks
like
for
a
kicking it.
collection of the Resident Evil franchise's best ideas
Oh, definitely.
fused
Later, bro.
into one game. Finally, it's worth mentioning that Resident Evil Village comes with a free separate Resident Evil multiplayer game called RE-Verse. It's a 6-person deathmatch where you pick your favorite character and duke it out in iconic Resident Evil locations, such as the Raccoon City Police Department. RE-Verse is another game in a long line of Capcom attempting weird multiplayer-focused Resident Evil games. Will this be the one that finally works out? Well, just have to wait and see.
That's really cool. Resident Evil verse.
So when can you get your hands on the game? Thankfully, you only have to wait a few months as the game releases on May 7th. Originally, Village was only announced for current-gen systems, i.e. PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and PC, but it has now been confirmed for PS4 and Xbox One. If that's still too long of a wait and you're chomping at the bit to try it out and you happen to be one of the 5 people on the planet that owns a PS5, then you can check out the exclusive Maiden demo. It's described as a visual showcase that is its own separate experience, not part of the full game. If you don't have a PS5, don't worry, we captured the whole demo and you can watch it right here after this. Capcom is also aware that most people don't have a PS5, so there will be a separate second demo released on all platforms sometime this spring. So, that's everything you need to know about Resident Evil Village. So far, it's shaping up to be not only a fantastic follow-up to Resident Evil 7, but in many ways, a follow-up to the mechanics and themes of Resident Evil 4, which is really hard to not get excited about. Hopefully we'll get some hands-on time with the game before its full release, so make sure to come back to GameSpot for that, as well as our full coverage and review. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so this looks nutty. So 3 children are gonna have powers like fucking Hunt Showdown. Then you have the mother who's gonna be Miss like Vampire Super Claw, like Kahlua from Hunter x Hunter. That's crazy. Is it raining? Okay, hold on. That's crazy, chat. No, it's not. It's just a little windy. It is going to rain today. And then drop low and become snow.
Everything.
So we had a good stream today. Today was this was some serious Resident Evil deep diving. This is the guy I watched to check out new stuff. What? That's awesome. How to make drop shadows?
You guys have been asking me on my stream how I did this webcam border. It's really sleek and minimal design where my corners just have these slightly rounded corners. And then underneath that, I've just got this really subtle drop shadow that separates my camera from what's going on behind my camera. I fucked up that intro, but you know what? I've recorded this like 30 times. Moving on. I really love this effect because it's just so simple and clean, which in my opinion is the design aesthetic that you should be aiming for. So we're gonna do a couple things in this video. First, I'm gonna show you guys how to add rounded corners to your camera, or really just cut out your camera to be any shape that you want. And in the second part of the video, I'll show you guys a couple ways to add drop shadows to any source in OBS. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh nutty, this is too easy, I'm skipping this video. Well, don't, because if you wait till the end of the video, I have a little surprise for you. There's no surprise, I just want you to stay for the whole video. Roll the intro. This video is sponsored by me. I take all the credit for this. Let's not waste any time. We're gonna start by cutting out the shape for our webcam, and there's actually a couple of ways to do this. Now, I'm sure some of you smart people are gonna be like, I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say mask, isn't he? He's gonna say masks? Sorry, I didn't know my viewers were a bunch of fortune tellers. Yeah, we're gonna use masks, but there's actually a fancy way to add rounded corners to your webcams via OBS plugins, but we'll cover that later. We're gonna start with doing masks. Okay, so what the hell is a mask? A mask, you can think of like a cookie cutter, and you can use this cookie cutter to cut your webcam, your gameplay, or any source on OBS and cut it into any shape that you want. Now, this mask takes the form of a simple PNG file that you can create using any image editing software you want, something like Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator. What? Photoshop? Oh man, I can't afford that. I ain't Oprah. There must be something that's free. Today we're going to be using a program called Inkscape because it's totally free and really easy to use, and it's just perfectly suited for doing what we're going to be doing today. So as always, I left a link in the description box for where you can download Inkscape. It's available for all platforms, Mac, Windows, Linux, so everybody's going to be able to do this. When you have Inkscape installed, open it up, and this is what you should be looking at. So before we even click on anything, let me just explain what we're going to be doing. We basically want to draw out whatever shape that we want our webcam to be. So if we want our webcam to be a circle, then we're gonna draw out a circle. If you want your webcam to be like a star shape, you're gonna draw out a star shape. So first, decide what shape your webcam is going to be. Now, before drawing out that shape, we're gonna change the canvas size of our page to be the same resolution as our camera, or whatever source in OBS that you want to cut a shape out of. So to do that, click on File, go into Document Properties, and then under where it says Custom Size, change the resolution to 1920 by 1080, if that's the resolution of your camera, and then make sure to change the units to pixels. Next, you want to turn on the page grid by going into View and selecting Page Grid. This just makes it easier to position stuff on the screen. And then you can just start drawing the shape that you want your webcam to be. So if you want it to be a circle, then select the circle tool and draw out a circle. If you want to make it a star shape, select the star shape, draw out a star. If you want to make it any weird shape that you want. Haha, that's a penis. Draw out the shape, any shape that you want. This isn't an Inkscape tutorial, so I recommend if you want to make a fancy shape, look up a bunch of tutorials for Inkscape. The point is, draw out any shape that you want. I just want to give my camera some slight rounded corners, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle tool and just draw a big ass rectangle to fill the whole canvas. And then I'm going to select the node tool, and you'll notice on my rectangle, you'll see a little circle in the top right corner. We're going to click on that circle with the node tool and just drag it down just a little bit. And you'll notice it'll just add these rounded corners to all four corners of a rectangle. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it really simple for now. Now we're going to take this mask and we're going to export it. To do that, press Ctrl-Shift-E, and in the right-hand pane, you'll see a section that says Export PNG Image. Set your export area to Page, and then choose a file destination by selecting Export As, choose a destination, and then select Export. Your final result should look like this. It's just a black rectangle. Great. I forgot the next part of the video. Now you can go back into OBS and then apply this mask to your webcam. And you do that by right-clicking on your webcam, going into filters, and then adding an image mask blend. And then in the drop-down box, you select alpha mask, alpha channel. Definitely didn't read that off my notes. And then set the path to that mask that you made in Inkscape, and bam, boom, done. Next part of the tutorial. Now, if the specific shape that you're looking for is just adding rounded corners to your webcam, and you're not trying to do like another fancy shape like a circle or anything, there is a better way of adding rounded corners via OBS plugins. Now, because we're using plugins, this isn't gonna work in that other program. You know the one I'm talking about. We're going to be using a plugin that we've talked about on this channel called OBS Shader Filter. If you don't know what OBS Shader Filter is, click on this thing here and talk more about it. But basically, it's a plugin for OBS Studio that allows you to apply things called shaders to any source in OBS. And essentially, a shader is a thing that allows you to manipulate the way your webcam looks or any source in OBS. And one of the shaders you can add is called rounded rectangles. And the way it works is you just right-click on your camera, add a rounded rectangles shader, and then that will allow you to just set a corner radius for your camera, and that will just round the corners directly in OBS without you having to make a PNG mask or anything like that. So if you want to do this, install OBS Shader Filter for OBS Studio. I left a link down below for where you can download that. Then just right click on your camera in OBS, go into filters, and then add a user-defined shader. Check the box that says load shader from text file and click browse. It's automatically going to bring up the examples folder. And in that examples folder, you're going to see something that says rounded_rect. Select that one, and then set your corner radius to be whatever value you want. And you should notice that the corners of your webcam should now be rounded. All right, part 2. This video is taking way longer than I thought it would, but we're halfway there, Cody. I believe in you. Let's keep going. No, not you. The other Cody. You know who I'm talking about. Let's work on adding the drop shadow for our webcam. Now, I really like drop shadows. It just adds that little bit of the little bit of the polish to just really complete your stream design. Now, there's a couple ways of doing drop shadows. There's the dumb way, and then there's the smart way. And I actually really prefer the dumb way. Now, the dumb way is to just use a PNG file. Like, literally the best way to add drop shadows in OBS is to just make the drop shadows in a PNG file using Photoshop, or in our case, using Inkscape, and then importing that in OBS as an image file. So back in Inkscape, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that mask that we just made before, and we're gonna press Control D to duplicate it. Then take that duplicate and just drag it down. It's all right if you drag it out of the canvas. Select the duplicate that you just created, and then go into Filters, go into Shadows and Glows, and then select Drop Shadow. And this is gonna be where you get to customize how your drop shadow looks. So what I like to do is I like to set the shadow type to outer cutout. So this only shows the shadow itself and not the shape of your camera. And then you could also adjust the horizontal and vertical offset if you want your shadow to be like in a particular direction. I just like leaving it at 0 just to put a consistent shadow around my whole camera, but it's up to you how you want to customize this. You could also adjust the blur radius if you want to have a larger drop shadow, and then you can also adjust the color. What I like to do is I like to go into the color tab and then make the opacity all the way up at 100%, just to have a darker drop shadow. By the way, it's probably a good idea to turn on live preview if you want to see how your drop shadow is going to look like as you're adjusting things. When you're happy with how it looks, click apply and you should see your new drop shadow. Quick tip, if you want to make your drop shadow darker, literally just select it and press Control D to duplicate it. Now, is there a better way of doing this? Probably. Do I know what that is? Hell no. Who do you think I am, Michelangelo? Now you can export your drop shadow by going into export PNG image, but instead of selecting page, we're gonna select selection because that's going to just export the thing that we have selected. Save that PNG to wherever you want, and then now in OBS, you can just right click and add an image source and point it to that drop shadow PNG file that you just created. And then it's just a matter of positioning that image file underneath your camera to make it look like it's just one solid block thing.
Watching more
now,
OBS
the second
stuff.
method for adding drop shadows is to use plugins for OBS. And it's daytime now. Who cares about continuity? Get over it. I was going to talk about a second method that involves installing a drop shadow plugin for OBS, but I decided to scrap that because check out how much of my GPU this plugin uses. And the reason why this is happening is because if you use this drop shadow plugin, OBS has to redraw your drop shadow every single frame, which is really taxing on your GPU. This is why I actually just recommend sticking to making PNG files for your drop shadows, because if your camera is just a rectangle anyway, there's no reason why you have to redraw your drop shadow every single frame. However, there is one situation where using a PNG file just won't cut it. And that is if you're using a green screen. And that is because now the shape of your webcam is dynamic and it's changing all the time. So you can't just make a PNG file for this. So what do we do? What are we gonna do about that? Here's a little bit of a hack that I figured out in OBS that doesn't use up like 1000% of your GPU. So you're gonna need the Stream Effects plugin for OBS, link down below if you don't have that already. Then you can just right click and add a source, and we're gonna add a source mirror, and we're gonna select our webcam. Now, if you don't know what a source mirror is, basically it's a new option that allows you to make a copy of your webcam, but then you can apply filters to this copy without affecting your original webcam. So what we're gonna do with this copy of our webcam is we're gonna apply some filters to it to make it look like a shadow. So the best way I found to do this is to first add a color correction filter, and then you can drop the brightness all the way down to the left, and that's gonna make your camera look like a black silhouette, which is pretty close to what we want for our drop shadow. I also like to turn down the opacity slider a little bit just to make the shadow not look so harsh. And then just as a final touch, I like to add a blur filter on top of that, which really just softens up the edges and really makes it look like a convincing drop shadow. So now you have this separate drop shadow source in OBS, and all you have to do is position this underneath your camera, and then bam, dude, you're done. End of the video. Boom, let's go. Anyway, at the end of all this, this should be your final product. And I know it looks really simple and basic, but you know what? I think it looks really professional, and I think it looks really cool because I did it. Awesome. You guys can stop asking me how to make drop shadows now. Go back to watching my stream. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check me out there. Also, there's a Discord if you guys need help on anything related to streaming, so make sure to join the Discord. Links in the description box down below. Also, let me know if you like these simpler style OBS tutorials. If you like them, leave a comment down below, but please, positive comments only, because I am too fragile to handle criticism, right? Cool. Peace out. Catch you guys next video.
All right, chat. Yeah, this is nutty. And this is the kind of stuff he does,
you
guys.
just bought yourself a camera for your Twitch stream, you plug it in, and it looks like this. It looks blurry, it looks dark, it basically looks like you're streaming inside of a hospital. So today, let's spend some time, go through everything that I did to change my camera from looking
Yeah. Or birria tacos.
Here to Miami. So the birria taco comes with hot braised beef with Osaka cheese, onions and cilantro. It is made, it actually takes a long time to process so we can get this perfection in this plate right now. It comes with a consomme, which is basically the dipping sauce for the tacos. It's an oil-based dipping sauce that each taco deserves to be dipped in. So let's cheer on Randy here to see if he can finish this.
Yes, and then all of these tortillas are corn tortillas. 40 minutes. If I fail, it's going to be $120. But if I win, I will get the meal free. I'll get a sweet t-shirt that I already have on, and then I will be the first person, once the restaurant opens, on their wall of fame. So thank you to Mo and everybody here with Talking Tacos.
Cheers,
let's get this challenge started.
It's Randy Santel. Competitive eater. I was just curious about these hot ass fucking tacos.
All right, I can't chipmunk the last bits. Still 2 minutes to go.
Let's go! Great time. There you go.
I mean, that sauce has got to be painful later.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. That's the brick and mortar restaurant opens for talking.
I don't know about that. So why is Angry Joe so upset? Probably because he can't get into the game.
son?
1 year ago, on February 8th, I received permission to operate from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power and turned on my home's fancy new Tesla solar glass roof.
Cool.
A few weeks before that, I released a video detailing our experience getting the roof installed. In that video, I made the mistake of promising to publish a follow-up video to talk about power output and to answer the most popular viewer questions.
Jesus Christ.
Well, a lot happened in 2020, but that video didn't. Sorry about that. However, now that the roof has been operational for a full calendar year, I've gathered a lot of data and a lot of experience, so I'm even better equipped to answer those questions and provide detailed data on power output. To begin with, let's start with that term I used earlier, permission to operate. A lot of people were very concerned about that phrase and wanted to know why I hadn't just turned on the roof as soon as it was installed. The answer is pretty boring. My roof is contributing power to LA's grid, and my utility company needed to verify that the system was up to their specifications before it could be turned on. That process didn't take all that long, and I ended up receiving PTO about 3 weeks after installation was complete. Is the roof going to catch on fire? Well, the fire department signed off on it, so I doubt it. Also, the solar tiles get plenty of ventilation. A Tesla solar glass roof is raised 1.5 inches off the surface of the waterproof underlayment below, allowing for airflow under the solar tiles up to the ridge vent at the apex of the roof, which also vents our attic and cools our home. Does the roof make noise? No. Is it waterproof? Yes. It's a real roof. The tiles overlap to prevent leaks, and the flashings are seamless. In addition, our home is also protected by the underlayment, which is Firestone Clad Guard, and that's waterproof, fireproof, and guaranteed for 25 years. Is it too shiny? From street level, the roof really is not very shiny at all. Is it durable? Many of you were also interested in how durable the solar glass tiles are, and whether they would hold up to impact from hail or other projectiles. The answer is yes. Speaking of durability, some of you were interested to know the details of the Tesla solar glass warranty. Here I will read directly from the contract. Your solar roof will remain in place and prevent damage to your home caused by the passage of wind and rain for 25 years. The power output capacity will be at least 95% of the rated peak power specified on the solar roof's data sheet at 5 years after your solar roof is installed, and will decline by no more than 0.5% per year for the following
I love you too.
20 years. One of the most popular questions I received was why we didn't opt to get power walls installed. Power walls are pretty
Sitting
expensive,
here watching
and while a
something
power wall
interesting
would
on
of
solar
course help.
power. I'm still streaming. Right, chat? Yeah. We just finished all our Resident Evil, rabbit hole. Yeah, I wanted to know, how it was all connected. No, I wanted to know how all of Resident Evil was connected. Yeah. It all started with a flower, and then after 3 or 4, there's 6 different viruses overall. Doing the end game all wrong?
Hey, what's going on guys, Grace here, welcome back to another Outriders video. Today let's go over some of the tips and tricks that you should probably know if you're heading into the end game, and especially so if you already finished the main campaign and are looking to do any of these expeditions, especially solo and whatnot. So here's the thing about these expeditions: these are going to be the true end game of Outriders. This is what you're going to be aiming for, specifically because this is going to reward you the highest gear possible, and unlike everything else, even compared to World Tier 15, will have the highest and best chances to actually drop legendary gear. And yes, that is going to be the goal for the end game. So I'm going to explain you some of the tips and tricks as you're progressing through these. Maybe you're stuck at Tier 5 or Tier 10 or wherever you are stuck. I'm going to give you some of the ideas that will help you with all of that. Of course, I'm playing with a Trickster, but some of these will also work for other classes as well. So first things first, as I've mentioned in one of the previous videos, probably the best stat you should be looking for, especially on armor, is going to be bonus firepower. The reason for that is because you can get a huge amount of bonus damage increase from this and then use other mods, abilities and passives to boost up your survivability. Simply because in the end game and on the higher difficulties, you're going to still want to have that DPS, otherwise you're not going to clear out anything. No matter how tanky you are, no matter how much HP or armor you might have, you're never going to clear as efficiently as you would with high damage. And on top of that, we also have the fact that every single class in the game is heavily incentivized to kill in order to survive, so that is why DPS is king in this game. Now, on top of these, you might be looking for something different in terms of stats depending on your character and class, but usually it's a combination between close range damage and cooldown reduction, maybe with a small mix of armor pierce, or even more important, something like weapon crit damage on top if we were to talk about the weapon damage. So crit damage in that case would definitely help way more. But here is what mods work best, and of course Tier 2 are the ones that I'm going to cover first, and you should definitely aim to have all of these unlocked before trying to go into any of these expeditions if you want to fare well. Now, one of the first that I always recommended if you were to go against some of these enemies is something that is called stare into the barrel. Reason being is that this is one of the best firepower increases. It gives you a few thousands for each of the enemies in close range, up to 5 times stack. So this means that you get those 5 stacks, and since you're going to constantly be surrounded by enemies, there's no situation in which this isn't going to be useful. But this is going to be a tier 3 kind of mod, so you might want to first acquire some legendary gear that hopefully has it on it, and then dismantle it to put it on something else. Now, if you don't have any of that, then there are tier 2 alternatives, and one that comes to mind that actually I'm also using with this build is the Bloodlust right here in the tier 2 category, which makes killing shots to increase your firepower by quite a significant margin, way higher than the previous one, but it also stacks to 3 times, though again it's pretty much going to compensate your lack of that tier 3 mod instead. It also only lasts for 10 seconds, but since you're going to be constantly killing enemies, you're constantly going to run with Bloodlust anyway. So between the Bloodlust and the stare into the barrel, you're going to get like at least 10,000 and even more at eye level 50 in firepower, essentially increasing your firepower by at least 50% to what you currently have from all of the other sources. So that is going to be a really awesome one. But as I've said, you shouldn't keep all of your points into weapon damage, because you're going to also want to survive, or at least when you're struggling and when you're surrounded by enemies, you might want to have additional ways to get over that. So one tier 2 mod that works extremely well with that is going to be mitigation from death. Killing enemies while aiming down sights grants 20,000 points of armor for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times, so that would be 60,000 in this case. So I also want to talk a bit about the armor, because right now a lot of people might be stacking a little bit too much without knowing that it actually has a hard cap of about 85%. So let me show you one really cool example where you could use either this ability or tier 1 mods that might make your armor increase just as much, and it's way easier to get. In this case, the example is with the borrowed time, and specifically the one that I'm looking for is going to be the time space protection. When you activate the skill, it gives you, guess what, 60,000 armor, but it also gives you that 30% resistance bonus on top. So let me just give you this example right here with the borrowed time. So right now my armor is only 27k, which reduces only 48% of the physical incoming damage. So if I activate this cool ability, it increases that to 93,000, or a physical damage reduction of 76%. So essentially I'm less than 10% beneath the cap. Now let me show you what would happen if, for example, I were to activate a mod similar to mitigation from death. So let's say you don't have the mitigation, let's say you go with a tier 1 mod. Well, there is one really awesome alternative right here for all of your tricksters, but there should be something similar for other classes as well, and one of them is Armor of Eons. Again, just tier 1, but it works wonders, essentially increasing your armor by another 100%. In this case I will be way over the cap, by the way, but I still want to show you that it's possible. So activating the skill, bam, all the way up to 85% physical damage reduction, which is going to help you tremendously in combat. So definitely super useful with that. Now as far as damage goes, here is where it becomes interesting, because damage is going to be what you want, and I'm going to focus on the weapons for that. So this build right here, as I've said previously, is going to have twisted rounds activated all the time, because we're going to constantly replenish our ammo. So this is how you're going to do that. Essentially it falls down to only one mod, which is going to be Perpetuum Mobile. So essentially you instantly replenish your magazine if you kill an enemy with 35% or less ammo remaining in your magazine. And guess what? It's not a reload, it's a replenish. So this means since it doesn't count as a reload, you're essentially never reloading your weapon, so you're keeping twisted rounds forever, as long as you just kill at least one enemy with 35% or less ammo remaining in your inventory. Now since this is my AoE damage weapon, I'm using an automatic shotgun, which I find to be some of the best weapons in the game. So Bone Shrapnel would work the best for AoE damage. Just at 43 eye level, it already provides over 44,000 in damage. It also applies a bleed, it also works every single second, and this means everything pops when it stays close to one another. And yes, they all pop together and they all provide this damage together, so it kind of has a chain reaction that helps you a ton with that. There's many others that you can use in there. Now if you want to go specifically for some better mods out there, then I would suggest to have at least one type of ability or mod or weapon that can at least freeze or incapacitate an enemy, at least momentarily. For me that would be the Wicker, which already came with Ashen Bullets, and I've used a Storm Whip on it, but honestly I would use something different on that, a different tier 3 mod that is even more insane, which would be the Dark Sacrifice. It sacrifices your health, as in it drains it constantly, but it increases your weapon damage by 75%. So if you're using a different weapon for single target damage, then you might want to go with a Dark Sacrifice and have that instead, since it's going to absolutely annihilate everything in sight. Now as far as the skill build goes, it's pretty simple. It heavily emphasizes cooldown reduction for my abilities and huge weapon damage increase, so for that Assassination is going to be the best. Specifically, you have Disruptive Firepower combined with Outrider Executioner, so you can start with a movement skill which increases your weapon damage by 50% for 8 seconds, then you pop something like a Bubble or a Venator's Knife, which increases your weapon damage by another 50% for 8 seconds, so that might be like 100% damage increase.
I might have to
in
do
total.
bleed.
And then we also have the last one, Cold Calculation, further increases your weapon damage for each enemy in close range by up to 8%.
I gotta do the bleed build, guys. I fucked up. I fucking crunched gear that I should not have in hopes of making myself stronger, and I ruined my build. Oh yeah. But that now gives me hopes to get trifecta gear, bonus firepower, close range damage, and cooldown. Yeah, chat. Yeah. Who here's playing Outriders? Yes? No? Anybody? Like, hello, Lucy, mom. All right, it's now that time again. I legit have to go to the restroom. We'll be right back. Oh no. Wow. Oh, I took 2 out of 3 down. Damn. Dead. Okay. And he has a thing.
That's inbound. Safe zone relocated. Oh. No way.
Fucking yeah.
He revived himself, didn't he? He revived himself. He went around the bank. Or the train.
Hit him. We can win this round.
Fire in the hole! Nice.
Yeah.
And you made them win.
Freedom, soldier.
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm gonna get back up here and get a run. Oh, wait.
Stand by for redeployment.
See that leg right there? Pop that leg.
Oh, you cracked him. Game key's going in.
Oh, Gameke's nasty. Did he just kill all of them?
He cracked one. Game key's going in. Bollocks.
He's still trying to raise him. What is he doing? Holy shit, that was very...
There's another squad here.
Key, you're dead. Dude,
I killed him.
Pistol, dude.
Holy crap! Look how many people are about to drop there.
Oh! It was a death match!
Nice.
I got leaf. Downed, baby.
Silos.
How the fuck is
Unless they actually
physically prove...
Broke arm on one.
Killed one.
50 remain in the AR.
Got it.
Nice. Come get your stuff.
Yep.
Got him. Okay, good. Got us, buddy.
Bring me up.
Oh, the other guy's down here. You got him.
Nice.
Off your ass. Get a move. Do something in Counter Strike though, like you're basically looking at him and you're thinking bullet, and a bullet flies out the middle of your head at him.
Yeah, that is.
Wait. I've got the.
Ross.
Alright, I got you. Nice, Game Key. Fuck yeah, Game Key.
Okay.
Oh my god. That was the. Oh, they came back for their shit.
Oh shit, they both.
Nope, that guy
You
was
get
by
him?
himself. He died. Man's dead.
Again, bro.
Oh. Get killed. Survive, Rob.
He's dropping someone off. Yeah, get ready. Armor satchel.
Oh my god! Oh! Oh, I killed one.
access card.
Surviving earns them redeployment. Enemy spotted.
People are dead in here. Come and get it.
Combatants are redeploying to the
Downed.
Oh, dead. Oh, fucking dead. He was.
Oh, someone else was shooting at him.
Down.
Stole some poor dude's van.
Out of charges.
Spike planted.
I'm pulling down in the car.
I'll drive.
Get it. I mean,
Am I stupid?
They're dead. Dead. Oh my god.
What's it?
He's over there.
Where I was. They'll fight for a chance to redeploy.
Ah!
Kill him.
Oh!
No way. They can redeploy.
The fuck? Hey, he's got a satchel right here.
What's out?
Nice. Oh, the stopping power rounds come in handy. fucking yeah! Down?
RPG over here. RPG over here.
Kill that one.
That guy's dead. Yeah, I fucking killed the guy on the ATV. Downed.
Inside the jail. Got a kid.
All right, we are officially back, chat. I am sorry for taking so damn long. One of those things where, like, I stepped away. I have a little one. Fuck. All of this over here. Okay, so the launcher went through. I wonder if my password will go through. Yeah, I don't remember my Bethesda account. Forgot password? Really? Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, let me log in. Goddamn. This is insane, chat. Yeah. Oh, I believe it. Yeah, cool. Look at that. Bethesda just broke. What? No, you didn't do nothing. You're fine. Yeah. Ask my manager. Dude, end task. Look at this shit, chat. Look at this shit. This will not close, Bethesda. I love you too, baby. How many hours I got in? Like 150? Yeah. Let's see what the big deals are. Near Replicant, Edge of Eternity, Dragon Quest. I haven't played like a dragon. Oh, when did this come out? April 23rd? Dude, so many games are coming out. Like, boom, 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 boom. Last Epoch. So, stay out. New releases. Let's take a look. Lunch Lady. That's funny. Saga Frontier Remastered. Oh, snap. Holy shit. The Saga game? Emily is away. I don't know. Portal Reloaded. I'm down. I'm down. Hobo Tough Life. I don't even want to know. Rounds. New top sellers, Tail Spire. First Class Trouble. Oh, wait a minute. I saw people doing shit in First Class Trouble. When did this drop? April 8th. It's 2008 and AIM is dead. Oh, Jesus. Legends of Idlian? Oh, God. It's one of those Maple stories. Out of the Park Baseball 22. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Huh. What to do next, chat? What do we do next? I bought Arizona Sunshine and never played it. Berserker's alpha test. Did it the downloads? Did it the download? Well, chat, do I switch over and play something else? I mean, geez. Yep, I hope you end up feeling better, Branham. Librario. Oh. We got any other cool shit on Reddit? Or, I mean, wow, Reddit. fucking YouTube. I think I'm at a point where I think I might just chill, chat. I might actually sit back and watch some anime. Because it's 3 in the morning. And my brain just simply isn't working for video games right now. It's not. Let's be real. All right, folks. I'm going to call it here. I hope you have a good night, morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And feel free to message me. I'm going to be here. So I'll be chilling in Discord. So until later on, when I go live and possibly just work on the new OBS, I've literally been putting it off, but I'm just fucking procrastinating. I'm being so goddamn lazy, and I need to just do it, chat. With or without you guys. Honestly, I just want to be able to have a conversation while I look into shit. All right, y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all later today. So good night, everyone. Bye.